Hey friends, I thought it would be fun to take a look back at the 2022 season before I had a YouTube channel. So I'm going to highlight a few things that happened in the early months of 2022 and then just give you an overview of some of my favorite pictures from the end of the season. So I hope you enjoy this walk through my garden adventures in 2022.
It's very early January and I have a lot of my winter sowing containers out. Then we got about 18 inches of snow. The snow started to melt but hasn't quite uncovered my containers. And then it melted a little bit more and we were able to see them. And the sun shining just makes everything feel so nice. As the weather warmed, I started thinking about spring and looking at containers for my front garden bed. I saw violas at the plant store and had to have them. And the snow has melted, but the winter sowing jugs are not quite ready. But I started thinking about the fence that I wanted to put up around that little area. Checking on my winter sowing every day, I saw little sprouts in the jugs. That is the most exciting thing. I started putting the fence together and making small sections at a time. The caramel heuchera was the star in the spring. More fence sections being put together. Couldn't wait and I bought roses. These are Proven Winners Petite Pink. Daffodils and tulips coming up. So super exciting as spring is in full swing. My 9-bark is coming back and Zena's talking to me. Just another look at the backyard garden in springtime. And the front yard tulips are coming up a little delayed compared to the backyard. Little later in spring, the side yard tulips are up. Look at that pink. Holy cow. And I got containers completed. Begonias, Hypoestes, and Lamium. And a Super Bells yellow in a hanging basket. I finished up the fence in May, and this was such a proud moment for me. This is a look at what the garage looked like last year at that time. What a difference a year makes. And this was taken May of 2022.
Guys, I was so excited at how the picket fence in the backyard turned out that right then and there I decided I needed a white picket fence in the front yard. And I had my uncle work on the pickets while I got started getting the posts and rails. So those were put in first, and then I built the flower bed around it, and then got the pickets put up finally. So, oh my gosh, just so happy with how that turned out. Let you watch this tour. That was between when we put up the posts and rails and before we put the pickets on. So I hope you enjoy the tour, and we're just going to finish with some of my favorite photos from the second half of the year.
Not quite done, but making progress. So we have, right there is euphorbia, and then we have an onion, a little New England aster right there with the grass. Then behind it we have delphinium right behind it. I tried to spread them out a little. Then we have cardinal flower and Leitris. That's the one I had last year. My peony came back. Then over here we have hollyhocks and larkspur. Right there we have our tree lily, burning bush. On the other side of it is Russian sage. And then did a little, oh, there's the sedge and the spiderwort with the larkspur there. I do have a coreopsis coming back right there. Then along here we planted euphorbia, so I did, I think, 4 of those. And that last one right there. Okay, tour of the front yard after the car goes by. There's Xena. Okay, still working on it, but we planted some annuals and some perennials. So we have 3 zinnias, some cosmos dotted around, heucheras. They're hard to see. There. Dogs barking. So we have 5 heucheras on this side. This is a golden globe arborvitae. Got some foxglove and some daisies. Okay, then we have our lavender hedge along with, this is Irish moss. So that is planted all along here. We've got helicopters. Oh goodness. Lavender is small. Okay, and then we repeated on this side the cosmos. We got poppies, zinnias, there, and there. Our little pail of super petunias spilling out with a coleus. The poppies, I need to plant the peonies yet. So on this side we have a couple of cosmos, black mondo grass, Nephophia, lots of snapdragons dotted everywhere. This is a New York aster in front of switchgrass, and that I planted from seed. So I think it'll take a long time before the switchgrass reaches its 3 to 6 feet potential. Okay, Maynite salvia, more snapdragons, poppies. These are black-eyed Susans. I need to get the peonies in the ground. A rose will go there. Black-eyed Susans, snapdragon. This is Gaillardia. These two are Gaillardia. And behind that is phlox, and I think I will plant more once the other rose goes in. I'm gonna dot the phlox around a little bit more. That, I believe, is a wild bergamot. I have echinacea along with a snapdragon, more echinacea up here. Delphiniums. This is a showy tick trefoil, I believe, that should be about 3 feet tall, surrounded by some poppies, and I planted 2, 1, 2, no, goodness, 1, 2 perennial sunflowers. Okay, there's the Proven Winners Oh So Easy Petite Pink Rose, and I just got it in the ground, so it is not looking its best. It looked fantastic a few weeks ago, actually. Poppies are looking a little sad because I just planted them and watered them. We have hollyhocks in the back here, and in here I'm going to put 3 penstemon. I'm going to try to kind of do a little wave of those. So I might put another hollyhock or 2. We have guara in the front. There's actually two of them, one here and one here. I don't think this one is going to make it. And daisies in here. This is a Nigella, snapdragon, poppies. This is kind of a mishmash corner. I planted some foxglove in here. So we'll see what works. Things are too close together. I do think I planted the Golden Globe is really close to the oh my gosh, the heuchera. Let me get a little closer. So there's the heuchera. There's the Golden Globe. I think I should have pulled that out a little bit more. I was just trying to kind of stagger the heuchera. So this is Purple Palace and this is Melting Fire. I was just trying to stagger them, but that heuchera may have to come like out here, in here somewhere. The Golden Globe Arb is not looking its best. It's looking a little bronzed, and it should not be at this point. So, and I need to fix this cardboard right here. I pulled it up when I planted the rose, and I needed to tuck it back in, and I did not. So, I need to get on that. All right. Well, I had an overcast moment. I thought I would, last day of May garden tour. My container, the verbena is doing amazing. Nemesia is doing amazing. My winter sown alyssum has a little blossom. Winter sown purple basil doing great. Angelonia, not so good. Okay, and then this spot is where I took out the burning bush. Then we're moving to, I had tulips here, obviously, leaves are still dying back, and some bachelor buttons are just about ready to bud up, or budding up and getting ready to bloom. Black-eyed Susan, and some hyacinth leaves that left over. We also have some daffodil leaves that I need to cut back, and a lily that I planted last year. So this is an Asiatic lily that I bought last year. It bloomed very early last year. I want to say I purchased it in May and it was blooming. So obviously not this year. It is more of a summer bloomer. So I'm excited to see that come back. Here is a very tiny little salvia that I purchased at Mishler's perennial sale that I got mulch on. Cut back some daffodils, and this is my lily. Purple coneflower. I've dusted everything with diatomaceous earth because I have slugs everywhere. I did plant some snapdragons, so a lot of snapdragons. Here I have Sweet William, is what is planted there. Oops, sorry, along with the butterfly bush that came back from last year. It is a perennial, it is supposed to come back. It just is slow to come back. I have a New York aster that I just planted there. So that was a winter sown aster. Snapdragon, garden mum, and another lily that I have seen. Actually, this one I saw red lily beetles on, and that is one of the reasons I dusted. I think diatomaceous earth takes care of beetles as well. So, and my bee balm, always first to bloom, beautiful. And I actually have a little volunteer over here, bee balm blooming. So I will at some point pull that out. My 9 bark that is just way too big for this space is gonna come out. I'm hoping it blooms by next Sunday. It's just about there. almost ready to bloom. And then on this side, I do have some sun-loving coleus, more sunflower, more snapdragons, some bulbs that have died back. I have to get those cleaned up, and some hollyhocks that are planted here. And my lettuce patch, that's actually doing very well. So I have a little watering spot for butterflies and bees. My little bells that are super cute, but don't really ever blow in the wind unless I hit them. So the exact same container over here, and again, the Angelonia is not doing well. I have Nemesia and Angelonia in this pot, and the Angelonia is doing so much better. They were not blooming when I purchased them, but these are loving life. So I am afraid that those other containers are getting too much light, too much sun.
Guys told me that they were able to come early and complete the siding on the house. So, oh my gosh, just that whole transformation happened in like the end of May to the end of June. Oh, so happy with how that turned out. Just an outstanding transformation. The before and after just blew me away. All right, guys, I'm gonna let you finish watching this video, and if you enjoyed, please consider hitting the subscribe button, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks so much.